So what did they call you?
They call me Spanky.
What are you incarcerated for, and how long is your sentence?
I'm incarcerated for first-degree murder, and I'm incarcerated for 25 years to life sentence.
Where are you from out here on the streets?
I'm from Fresno, California, a little town I grew up in called Gallery, California.
Do you or did you belong to any type of gangs, groups, organizations?
Yeah, I was part of a Norteño gang.
Now, sir, if I'm not mistaken, Richard, bro, you're the gentleman that was involved in an in-house murder maybe about a year or 2 years back. If I'm not mistaken, I actually reported on it, man, before I even met you.
Cool.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
So we'll go ahead and dive into that in another time, my friend. But I feel that you actually had some words that you wanted to go ahead and to express to us, man. Go ahead and do so.
Okay, cool. Yeah. First, I just want to say, I'm just a man trying to be the best version of myself, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And man, if there's anyone out there that maybe could help me out, get a pen pal, maybe even someone to write to, contact, a girlfriend. You never know, please feel to reach me out at that gtail.com. I got a tablet. It's the gettingout.com, and I'm right here in Curve Valley State Prison. My name is Richard Escalon. My prison number is AU 5257. The PO box. It's PO Box 5103, C5115, Delano, California 93216. And then next, I just want to send first I want to send a shout out to all my family and my loved ones, and to my kids that I love and miss so much, Ryan, Jalissa, Sierra. Oh man, one day I just want to be able to talk to you guys, and there's never a day that goes by that I do not think about you guys. My one and only niece, Erica Escon. I love you, man. Thank you for being there for me. And then I want to say to all that hears this, know that I'm a kind-hearted man. I grew up with a family all around me, Diaz and Theos, 3 brothers. I was the youngest of them all. Mom and Dad always had jobs to make sure we had everything. I went to high school, had a high school sweetheart, went to all the high school dances, went to the prom night with my high school sweetheart that I love forever, Jamie Pinedo. Had 2 kids with her. I wish one day I could be able to give you guys a hug. Hopefully they will somehow forgive me. And to my other 4 kids that I love and miss, Melissa, Darlene, Sierra, and my son Junior, please forgive Dad for leaving them like that, and you see, and know that I love them all. So so I was a father out there trying to stay out of trouble, and I just made one bad decision, lost my life in the blink of an eye, and now I'm here in the same boat, caught another murder case for just protecting myself. Know that right here, I'm in one of the most dangerous prisons here in California, and it's like one of the big dog prisons around here, and they have like a no hands policy here. Every time there's any type of violence that goes around, that there's like that one person's always using a handmade weapon just to do something to the other inmate. So it's really crazy right here, and that's about it. You want me to say something positive out there for the young waters too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I want to say too, my life was crazy growing up. So to all the young waters out there, take it from me, and don't get mixed up with gangs. It always leads to going to jail or even getting killed. For what?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
For a street, for a city, stay in school, man. Get your education. Follow your dreams. But don't give your life for a gang. It's all about having a good job, a good paying job, being able to own your own house one day, to be a good father. Selling drugs and trying to make that fast money, it's all going to come to an end one day. It's either going to come to jail or prison or even the grave. I know I lived and been through everything that comes with doing bad. Now I'm here doing life in prison, wishing I could just do everything different and finish school and get my education. But now I got to get up every day in this prison. So yeah, hear my life story, man, and I hope it could help someone out there to make a better decision and grow up. And also, I want to send a shout out to my gangster goon from the Bay, he's a known shooter here in the pen. Just want to send a shout out to him. So that's right there. I'll give it back to you.
From him, man. It is not worth it, ladies and gentlemen. But talk to me, Richard, bro, man. What was your upbringing like, man? And what was it that gravitated you towards these gangs? And being a norteño in Fresno, do you remember when the Fresno car actually broke away from the north and started doing their own thing? And how did that trickle effect into the streets?
Oh, man, that started in the late 80s, like in 88, 87, from a guy named Eddie Crackers. He's the one that started all this separation from Northerners, from the Bulldogs. Bulldogs from the Northerners, yeah. I guess they put a hit on his brother, and he told all the homies from Fresno to take care of his brother and don't let the other Northerners, go with that hit. So it started from there. That's how it really started, from that guy. And since then, the homeboys from Fresno just got tired of taking orders from the Northerners, doing all these rules and regulations, because there is a lot of rules, and and it kind of sucks from taking an order from another man. Who wants to listen to another man? So they basically got tired of it and just split up, and it started to take effect in the streets years later, where the Northerners and Bulldogs, they became really rival enemies. So every chance they got, they would see each other out on the streets. They would literally try to take each other's life. So it was bad. It started getting bad. Yeah. Fresno was a big car for the norteños, but that's what they taught me when I was active. My first time coming to prison, they would teach me that. They wanted me to learn that, actually. Yeah, because I was from Fresno, and there was not too many people from Fresno at that time.
As you were growing up in the streets, Richard, man, did you ever lose any friends? Did you ever lose any fellow homeboys from your fellow neighborhood that somewhat shook you to your core, and you realized that, that this was really for real, that this gang banging thing was no joke?
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure, man. There's this one time my own brother got shot right in front of my eyes, and it was my fault that he got shot, man. I was at this one house, at my homeboy's house, and all of a sudden, they're right across the street, there's some Southsiders having a party there, and there's actually it was me, Big Boy, Youngster, Valerie, and her daughter, and we're at the house, and all of a sudden they just start shooting. I'm talking about they just start lighting that house up, and it was going on for a while, man. And Valerie and her daughter, I was telling everyone, get down, stay on the ground, don't get up, until after they're done shooting. Literally, Valerie called 911. So as soon as she got off the phone, I got on the phone and I called my brother Steven. Hey Steve, I'm over here, man. Can you pick me up, please? They just shot this house where I'm at. And my brother Steven, at that time he had a job, he had a family, he was a family man. So I called him to pick me up, and
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They wanted to ride home. So I said, yeah, don't trip, my brother will take you home. So once my brother picked us up in the alley, and we left the alley where the house got shot up. As soon as we turned the corner, man, there's two guys right there on the sidewalk, and the homeboy Big Boy had to open the back door and say, hey, what's up, man? Where are you guys from? As soon as he said that, they just started shooting the car, man. and my brother ended up getting hit with a 45 in the back. And also my homeboy, Big Boy, he got shot in the leg. But right there, man, my brother started yelling and screaming. And
you have 60 seconds remaining.
So my brother got shot, so he started screaming really, really loud, man. And I knew right then and there that he got shot, man. So the next stop that we came to a stop, and it was right by St. Mary's Church, right there in Sanger. So I told him to stop. He put the car in park. I got out the car, went all the way to the driver's seat, pushed my brother to the passenger side, took off my shirt, and I remember I had a white shirt, and I put it where he got shot in the back, and there was just blood coming out. And I could see in my brother's eyes that he was scared, man, just by his voice and screaming. He was really in pain. And I was scared. I was only like, 14 years old, man, 14, 15 years old. I was young. So I was scared. So as soon as I got in the car, I just started driving. And my instinct was like, I need to get my brother to the hospital. If not, he's going to die. And he's telling me, please, brother, don't let me die. And I told him, don't worry, Steve, I got you. So I'm driving now, and I knew that right there in Sanger, they had a little hospital, but I knew that for that type of injury that he had, they weren't going to be able to save him right there. So I had to drive all the way to Fresno, knowing that I had to drive to the bigger hospital. So I did. So I'm just driving and really.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
As fast as my brother's car go, I was driving. And I remember I'm almost in Fresno. I'm at a stoplight right there on Jensen and Clovis, and I see a sheriff right there. And the first thing I do, I start flashing the sheriff with my high beams, flash up and down, and I'm telling him, hey, my brother's shot. My brother's shot. Can you kind of like escort me to the hospital? And all he's saying is pull over. So I was like, oh hell no! So I just keep driving, and I'm driving a couple more miles until finally I pull over, and I tell them what happened. They call an ambulance, and they come pick my brother, and they take him to the hospital, and they took me back to Sanger Police Department to ask me what happened to my brother. But at that time, I realized, man, how fast you could lose someone over for the gangs, man. It really opened my eyes right there to losing a family member like that. He didn't die though, but it was pretty close, man. And to this day, my brother Steve still has that bullet in the back of his back, And every day he feels that pain, because right now he's older, and man, that bullet hurts his back real bad, man. He can't even work because of that bullet. But I felt like it was my fault that my brother got shot, man. And all my family were mad at me at that time. Yeah, so.
Having you done that, this whole situation that took place, did that somewhat obligate you to seek retaliation to a certain extent?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's your brother that got hit.
Yeah, my brother got hit, yes. And it was my fault for me calling him to pick me up. If I would never called him to pick me up, that would never happen. So that kind of changed my brother's life too. And for sure, yes, I wanted to seek retaliation, revenge on the people that did that. Because I seen what my brother was going through when I was driving him. And it was ugly. I was sad. I was hurt. I was scared, and I didn't want my brother to die.
Did you seek revenge? I mean, did you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I mean, I didn't get any revenge on some other people. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Yeah, because that town Sanger, it was all about gangbanging and hurting one another. And yes, for sure, I did seek revenge.
Did you lose any other friends? Do any other friends come up to mind?
Yeah, I got some other friends that came up to mind. I have another friend that he got shot in front of a store. His name was Fernando, over the gang, and just the way they shot him and killed him, it was up. He didn't deserve to die. And him too. He he had kids and a girl, and just the blink of eye, he died, man. They killed him. And it was sad. He was a good guy, man. He was a good dude.
How does that affect you mentally? How does that affect you mentally or emotionally? Like, I'm sure you must have went to his funeral. I'm sure you must have seen his mom or his girl cry, his kids suffer. How does that take a toll on you mentally?
Man, it's man, it was at that time. It was hard, man. It was hard seeing one of my good friends die like that, and you know, and it just anger grew inside me as to take retaliation on the people that did that, man. It would just get me more and more angry at the guys that really did that, and that's probably what it did, you know. But it was sad. It was sad at the same time for the mom and dad, for the parents and her girl and the kids, to know that they're not gonna have a father no more. Yeah. I wouldn't want no one else to go through this. I know that. I wouldn't want no other. If someone could not join the gang and to realize, man, it's deep, man. People die over this, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't want no one else to be in for that to happen, for sure.
It's for real, Richard, man. I'm glad that you stated it the way you just did, man. A lot of people stay forever young, man. There's a lot of single mothers out there. There's a lot of young men that grew up and are growing up fatherless because their fathers are either locked up in prison or they're dead because they got murdered themselves due to this gang activity, and it's sick. It's crazy, man.
It's crazy. Yes. Yeah.
But Richard, man, would you mind taking us back, man, to your original case while you were initially incarcerated? From my understanding, it's also a 187 murder charge, correct?
Yeah, correct. It's a 187 too. Yes, for sure.
What happened, man? How did you make this mistake, man? If you mind walking us down of what was it that happened?
Well, at the time, I mean, I got kids, so you know, and I love my kids, and I was always in and out, you know, from '98. I caught my first term, and I was always in and out after that. It seemed like I was caught up in a web. So at that time, I would try to come home and do good, and then after, for some reason, I would just end up getting caught up back in the mix, selling drugs, doing you know, crimes, you know, maybe robberies, you know, whatever I had to do to get money from me and my family. But that time, I remember that like it was yesterday, man. I paroled to a halfway house. I was in a halfway house, like a drug you know, a drug program. I was in that for 90 days, and I was supposed to go home. And I was supposed to go to another drug program for a year, but I decided not to because my wife, she had an apartment with my kids. So I ended up going back to her, and I ended up getting caught up again, using drugs and selling drugs, until I got one of my other homeboys, Lynch, came to my house and visited me, and I asked him, what's up with the homie Joker? And he told me, hey, the homie Joker, he gave me he's over here, he's doing better now. So he gave me his phone number. I called my homie Joker, met up with him. He said, what's up, cuz? You know, I got a mansion over here. You know, why don't you swing by? So I did, man. As soon as I hung up, I called a taxi, went over there, and sure enough, man, he had a badass house. It was a 3-story house, gated, and you know, I'm asking, what's up? How'd you get this? And you know, he just told me, you know, he met this girl. She was going an older lady. She's going through divorce, and you know, this is hers. But at the time, she wasn't there. I guess she had got sick a couple of days before that. So he called 911. They picked her up, took her to the hospital, but she never came back. She stood after when she got out of the hospital. She went to a motel, and she was staying there for a while. And the lady left them 2 dogs there at that house. So every month, a lawyer would come and drop off $1,500 just for us to take care of the dogs and make sure everything's running right at the house. So like she didn't even care about us living there at the house. So now we have this big ass house, and we would just party there all day. You know, sell drugs, you know, print counterfeit, and just have fun, man. So but I remember one day, I remember we had these checks. Now we sold some dope to this white boy. He gave us 4 of his father's business check. You know, when we would deposit these checks in my bank account and pull the money out at the time when we needed money. So, well, one day Joker brought this one guy named Nico. I guess they were cellies in jail. So Nico found Joker and met up with them. And for some reason, I didn't like this guy Nico, man. I just knew in the back of my mind he was
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And he didn't have no morals and standards. So, well, he was a bulldog. That's what he was, you know. And we're Northerners, so we still function like Northerners. Just because we're not functioning with them no more doesn't mean that all our morals and standards are there. So this dude Nico I had a bad vibe on this guy, man. And I remember real quick in my apartment complex. I had this other girl in my apartment complex. I was cheating on my wife, and this other girl named Lisa. And I took my homeboy Joker. Look, Joker, if you want to ever come lay your head or shower or you need a place to stay, you could come to this girl Lisa. So I took Joker to this girl Lisa. Well, one day I'm at Lisa's house, and the phone rings, and Lisa hands me the phone. She's talking. She hands me the phone. She's like, "Hey, they want to talk to you." I get on the phone. What's up? And this dude's on the phone. She goes, "With all due respect, I want to be going over there now. I don't want no one there. Lisa's my girlfriend now." I go, "Who's this?" He goes, "This is Nico." What? So I gave back the phone to Lisa, and I just said, "You know, who's that?" She goes, "Hey, your homeboy Joker brought that dude here." I go, "What?" Yeah, so days go by. So we go back one day again to Lisa's. We come back, then my wife's there all of a sudden. My wife's in this house now in an apartment. And I'm like, what the? How did my wife, figure all this out? Well, she seen my boxers hanging right in the shower, so she knew I was cheating on her with this girl, Lisa. So, we get in a fight. We're fighting for days, man. Until one day Nico called and asked me if I had any for sale. I go, sure, yeah, for sure I do. Come over. I go, where you at? He goes, I'm right here, Lisa. I didn't care. I go, cool, come right here to my apartment. You know where I live. So he comes and
you have 60 seconds remaining.
So Nico comes and asks me if I have a 16 for sale. I go, yeah, come over. So he comes to my apartment, and once he comes, I give him 16. My wife ends up yelling down because I'm downstairs and my apartment is upstairs. So she opens the window and she asks, hey babe, can your friend give me and my sister a ride to the store? And I asked my homie, hey, what's up? Can you give me my girl a ride to the store? He goes, yeah, sure. So he takes us to the store. We go to Costco. Food for less. We buy a couple of groceries we need. So on the way back, right when my wife and her sister are about to leave out of his truck, he says it real loud, hey bro, the homegirl Lisa wants you to go over there later on tonight. She's gonna be by herself. Knowing damn well me and my wife just got in an argument over Lisa, she looks at me and she goes, you better not come inside the house, and slams the door and takes off. I look at Nico like, why'd you say that, man? We had just got in an argument over Lisa. And he was like, I seen him smiling, like kind of laughing, like he knew what he was doing. And he's just like, oh, my bad, bro. I'm like, man, all that, bro. And then he takes off, right? So that was the first time that I was kind of mad at this guy, right, for doing that. So I don't see him for another couple of days until he comes back another like 3 or 4 days later, and he has his check with him. And he asked me, what's up? I got this check, bro. What's up? Can you deposit me bank account? We'll go hackers on it and this and that, right? And I look at the check, right? And I knew it was one of those checks from a humble joker from the house, from the mansion. I knew that this guy stole that check from him. So I told him, nah, bro. Hell no. Well, I accidentally dropped my wallet and I left my wallet in his truck, but he had already left. So this guy tried to use my ATM card to deposit that check and pull out the money, but of course he didn't know none of my password and stuff like that, so I don't know what happened. But days later, my homeboy Joker comes back to my apartment and tells me, let's go, hey bro, let's go deposit this and this and that so we can get some more money, right? And I ended up telling him about his homeboy Nico, because he came to my house with Nico's truck, and I told him, hey bro, that dude you have over there, he's no good, bro. He's a scum, bro. Look, he came over here a couple of days, he stole that check from you. So now I'm telling him all this about his own homeboy. So now he's mad, man. Joker's mad, and he wants me to go with him back to
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And tell this dude that he has to leave and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like, fuck, I don't want to go, little joke. My kids are in school. I need to wait for my kids to get home. And he goes, no, come on, let's go. I need you to go with me. And we were like back and forth for like 2 hours, man. He was outside my apartment just waiting. Bedico wanted me to go with them. And so I said, you know what? Come on, babe, let's go with Joker real quick. So we got in the truck. It was a Suburban, and that was Nico's truck. So I go with them. We go back to the mansion, and I remember it was Delilah, this other girl that was Delilah's friend, and my wife Monica and me and Joker. So we go back to the mansion. As soon as we get to the mansion, we go downstairs, and Nico's down there in the basement on the cell phone. As soon as we walk down there, he tells me, all right, Joker's back. I'll be over there. As soon as he hung up on the cell phone, Joker says, hey, what the did you, hey, I want you to leave. Don't come back over here. You stealing from me. You're stealing from the house. It's not right, bro, so just leave. So as soon as he did that, he looked at me. He told Joker what happened, and he looked at Joker. And he swung at Joker and hit my homeboy right in the nose. So it backed my homeboy up, and my homeboy, this is a big house, so it's mirrored walls all the way around. So there's a bat right there. So my homeboy Joker grabs the bat and has a bat right here, and then Nico rushed him, so Joker hits him right in the head with his bat, knocks him down a little bit, backs him up, and now we're all in the basement. Like this is all of a sudden this happens in a flash, hella fast. So right there on the computer table, there's a plate with lemons, and there's a knife right there from a couple of nights. We were drinking tequila shots of Jose Cuervo. So we left a knife on the plate with lemons. So Nico's looking at the knife. I'm looking at the knife. He goes for the knife. I go for the knife. I grab the knife first. I backed up. He still comes at me, swinging. So me in defense, I stab him. I stab him one time in the heart. And I just seen his eyes just like a deer in a headlight, just open, boom. I seen that, so I knew I must have stabbed him somewhere where I guess where it hurt him, I knew he felt that just by the look in his eyes, So I back up, and my wife's right there, and Delilah's right there, and Delilah's friend's down there, and Joker. All of us are down in the basement. So this guy, after he got stabbed, he runs towards me. I back up and I let him go. Like, you know, he's trying to run out. I guess now he wants to leave. He just got stabbed. He's hurt. He wants to get the out there. So he runs right past me. He goes upstairs towards the kitchen, running for his life. Joker tells me, hey, man, you know, go after him because he has a gun. He did have a gun, but I didn't see the gun right there, but I don't know if he's running upstairs to go get the gun. I don't know.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So I chase him. I go up and I'm chasing right behind him. And now we're in the kitchen. He makes it to the kitchen, but he knows I'm behind him. He turns around. Now he makes it to the kitchen. Well, there's knives all, you know, in the kitchen counter. There's these knives right here. There's a bunch of trying to grab. So he's trying to grab these knives at the same time, knowing that I'm behind him. But at the same time, he wants to leave. He wants to leave out the house. So he's running. I grab a bar stool and I throw it at him to try to stop him. And he ends up just collapsing right there in the kitchen floor. Just falls just right into there. And Joker runs up from the basement. My wife, Delilah, and that other girl. What's her name? Angelina, I think her name is. Yeah, Angelina. She ends up coming up in the base, up to the kitchen, and everyone is seeing Nico on the ground, and I'm, you know, Joker's like, hey, you better get up and get the out of here, this and that. He thinks he's alive still or whatever. So he starts like trying to wake him up. Hey, just get out of here. And then I'm looking at Joker like, man, I think he's dead, you know. He's not moving. He's not waking up. So Joker tells a couple of the girls, you know, to go in the room. I check for a pulse, and sure enough, I don't feel a pulse. He's dead. And so I'm in shock now. Like I'm like, oh shit, this is really happening right now, man. I just killed this guy, you know. And man, so and I've been on for like I've been up for like maybe 2 days, and so I'm having all these racing thoughts, man. Like what's going on, man? And the girls in the room. So what I do, I just start thinking real fast, like, man, I need to get rid of this guy. You know, I don't want to go to jail. I got my kids. They're still in school. Man, I'm not even supposed to bleed. I get myself caught up in this type of mess, man. I'm just thinking about my kids, man. Like, man, I don't even want to go to prison right now, man. So I go in the garage and I'm looking for anything, and I see this big ass tarp, big blue tarp, and I grab that big blue tarp. I grab some rope. I go back to the kitchen, and now I'm tying his legs, and he's dead for sure. He didn't have no pulse, man, so he's not moving. I throw hot water on him. He's still not getting up. For some reason, I should have called 911, man, but I mean, I'm on parole. Joker's on parole. None of us want to go to jail. I mean, I'm not in the right state of mind, so I don't call 911. So I end up wrapping this guy up in the tarp. Throw him in the closet and leave him there for a while until I think about, like, what are we gonna do with this guy? The girls are there, and I told Joker, man, you know, I need some more drugs to wake up to. I don't know what to do, man. So he ends up leaving with these other two girls, Monica. They're two Monicas. One from they're the ones that are staying there. So these are all Joker's friends. So they pick off to go buy some more drugs at his brother's house. And it's me, my wife, Delilah there, and Angelina there. So I just started like trying to clean up maybe like looking for blood splatters and stuff like that. Like, I'm scared right now. Like, I'm like, damn, this is really happening, man. There's a dead body right here in the closet, and it's my fault. Literally, I'm just thinking, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I tell my wife, what should I do, you know? And she just says, let's leave, because Joker's not coming back. And sure enough, I don't know where, he just took off. He never came back. So, you know, I get all of the guy's clothes, I put him, I wrap him like in a sheet, and I throw everything in his truck. But finally, Joker does come back, and then the first thing he says that the other girls they just left him there at his brother's. He didn't know what happened. They just took off. So now I'm like, now I'm thinking like, what am I gonna do with this body? I just tell Joker, you know, I'm gonna get rid of it, you know. So I get the body and I move it.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I was saying, so Joker took off with the girls. He comes back to tell me that they left, and so it was Joker there, me, my wife, Delilah, his girlfriend, and Angelina. And now I'm explaining to Joker like, man, what are we gonna do, you know? And he's like, you know, I'm having all these racing thoughts. I really don't know what to do. The only thing, I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to go back to jail because I've been going in and out, and I love my kids. I don't want to leave my kids. You know, Christmas just happened. I remember it was. I remember it was January 27, 28 when this happened. So, man, we had just finished having Christmas, and man, I love my kids so much, and I don't want to leave them again, man. I don't want to go back to prison knowing. And I'm thinking now, like, damn, now for this, for killing someone, now I'm probably gonna go away for life, man. So, all because of an argument, all because whatever. Now I have a dead body right here, and first thing in my mind is like, I need to get rid of it. I need to hide it. I don't know what to do, but what I do is, so I'm gonna get rid of it. So I get it out the closet, and I unwrap it in the garage, and his truck's in the garage. So I unwrap it, I'm looking at the body. I'm like, damn, what should I do? So, man, he's stiff. I could tell he's cold. The whatever you call the mega road, the body, it's hard. It's stiff. It's cold. So my first mind is like, maybe I should chop him up, you know. So I cut one of his arms off. And I was like, hell no, this is too much. I'm tired. I'm not gonna do it. So I throw him back into the tarp. You know, Joker comes in. I'm like, you gotta help me, man. It's real right here. And he's like, yeah, Cuddy. And he didn't want to help me. He just told me just, you know, I told him I'm gonna just go take it. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna burn them. Just burn them in the vehicle. Maybe get rid of them like that. So I rewrapped them, throw them back in the truck, and I told Joker I'll be back. So now I took off, and I had to put gas in the car. I remember I stopped at a Johnny Quick right there on Jensen and Tollus, put some gas in the car, bought a can of lighter fluid, and bought a pack of Marlboro Reds. And I'm driving with this guy. I'm looking in the back seat, like, damn, this guy's right. There's a body in the back seat, and I'm just like, what? Like, damn, this is crazy right now. This is really happening. I can't get put over right now. Hell no. Just can't. I gotta make it. So my first instinct is like, I need to go. I'm gonna take him over here where I grew up as a kid, at the ranch, because I'm comfortable there. I know every back road, every turn. I know that whole area. So I already set my mind. I'm gonna take them there. I'm gonna light the truck on fire and come back home. But before I do that, I go to my cousin's house. My cousin Mondo. May him rest in peace. Really, he's not here no more. He died of HIV. But at that time he was alive, and that was my primo. He was like my brother, so he helped me out any time I needed him. He was there, man. So I went over there to his house in the middle of the night. It was like about 1 a.m. It's foggy. I get off. I parked a little bit. I parked the truck in front of his neighbor's house. And there's a body in the back. So I get off. My cousin's outside smoking some. And I tell him, what's up, cuz? And I tell him, hey, now I'm starting to explain to him, like, hey, I need you to be over here right now in 25 minutes exactly. Be right here on this street. I want to be right there. And he knows what street I'm talking about because he used to work right there, too, around that area. So he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And he asked me, whose truck's that? I told him, no, it's just a stolen truck. I need to go burn it. I need to go torch it. And he goes, let me get some things out. I go, no, because don't even go near that truck. So I smoked some, actually, to maybe calm me down a little bit. So I smoked, and all of a sudden, there's these spotlights. Well, there's saying the police department are passing by the house, and I'm like, oh. So we go in the house, but I could see them like shine the light towards the truck real quick. I'm like, oh, they're gonna find this truck with this body right now. I'm like, oh hell no, this can't happen right now. My goal is to take it over here and to burn it, to get rid of it. That's all I wanted to do, man, is just to get rid of it. So I don't have to worry about it no more. Maybe that'll help. But so I'm looking outside on the blind of the window, and sure enough, they end up leaving. So I tell my cousin, all right, cuz, meet me right here on Indianola, right there by David's old house, and it's out in the country. So I'll be right there in 25 minutes. He goes, oh, I'll be there, but don't lag, cuz, please be there. You have to be there, man, because I want to jog over there, cuz. I want to take it over here. I want to burn it. I want to jog over there. Don't leave me hanging. He goes, I won't, cuz. So I take off. Now I'm driving. I'm driving over there, and I go into the country, into the dirt roads, into this little, by the inside the dirt fields and grapevines. All around me is nothing but is orchards, grapevines and peaches. And so I made it there. I get off. I splash lighter fluid all over the car, and I just light a cigarette and and light the truck on fire, and sure enough, it starts catching on fire, and it starts catching quick. I let some of the windows down and make sure it caught fully on fire, and I start jogging. I remember I'm jogging. I'm scared. It's dark. It's foggy, and it's scary out there if you're by yourself out there in the middle of grapevines. You know, it's hella scary. Believe me. So I'm jogging. I just tell myself I just need to make it over here. So I'm jogging. I'm trying not to stop. I'm just remember that, you know, I ran a couple of miles. I could do this. So I'm jogging. All of a sudden, I just hear really, really loud pop. Boom. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that has to be either the gas tank, or the tires. And now I'm hearing more and more pops, more like, you know, real big bangs. And I know from experience, from blowing up cars and lighting them on fire, that first thing is going to be, you know, the gas tank, and then the tires, they stop popping. So I know that that's what's happening around. I know that the truck's still on fire. So I just keep going. And I remember I still have the knife that I stabbed him with in my pocket. I remember that. And so right when I'm jogging on Indianola, there's this old irrigation for water. It's an irrigation line that they used to feed water to the grapevines. And I seen it right there, so I stop. I throw the knife there. I'm just like, I don't want it no more. So I left it there. I keep jogging, and I just finally see this car coming up. And it's literally foggy. I can't see. So I know this car's coming up, but I just know for a fact that's my cousin. So now I'm in the middle of the street, waving like stop. And sure enough, it was my cousin Mondo. I jump in the passenger seat and we take off. And he takes me all the way back home to my house, to my apartment in Fresno. And while we're going, we're still in the country. I take off my shoes. I throw them out the window. He's like, "What are you doing, cuz?" I'm like, "Don't worry about what I'm doing, cuz. Just shoes. I don't need them no more." So I make it to my house, and he takes me home. And as soon as I get into the apartment, my son Dale was there with his girl. And I give him a hug, man. And I just give him a hug that he didn't realize that I was going to give him. I just told him, "Man, I fucking love you, Dale." He goes, "I love you too, Dad." I go, "Man, just know that
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Know that my daughter, my two daughters are asleep, and my other son, Junior, they're all asleep." And I told him, "I'll talk to you later. I'll be back." I got to the clothes. I'm going to go to Lisa's house right there in my apartment complex. So, and Dave was right, Dad. I go, "I'll be back, son." So I went to Lisa's house to go shower and maybe, to get my mind out. Don't think about that anymore. I don't really want to think about what just happened, what I did. So I go there to take some stress out. Maybe Lisa could help me. Maybe some. I thought maybe some do, but I stayed the night there. I don't know. I think I called Joker and I told him, "It's done. Don't worry about it." And I hung up. So the next day, I go back home to my apartment. My wife's there now, and she's like, "What happened?" I just, "Don't worry about what happened. I got rid of it." And that goes on for like that was like maybe 7 days later. But within those days, I'm still taking my kids to school. But now I'm looking on the news, on the newspaper. I'm buying a newspaper. And I'm looking on the newspaper to see if they find that body or something. I'm just trying to see if
you have 60 seconds remaining.
If they found that body, but no, they don't. You want me to call you back? So I got rid of the body, and now I'm back home with my wife, and I just go back to trying to be a father, there for my kids, picking up, taking them to school. At the same time, I'm buying newspapers to see if they found the body out there. I'm just kind of worried about that. And Joker's calling me, "Is everything all good?" I go, "No, it's all good, bro. Don't worry about it." And now he's asking me, "Where is it at?" I just told him, there's no need for me to tell you what I did. Just know that I got rid of it, And so I remember it was like 7 days later, and it's me and my girl in our room. I remember I bought pizza for the whole family. I bought a large pizza for Darlene and Melissa, a pizza for Dale and his girlfriend, and 2 pizzas for me and my wife and my son. So we all have our own little pizza. So I remember we're in my room, the kids are already going to sleep, and me and my wife we're just chilling in the room. And I get a phone call on my cell phone, and I say hello, and then I hear this is Fresno Police Department, and we're investigating an assault that took place. I go, "What?" They're, "Yeah, an assault that took place and so.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I just remember I said, "Oh yeah." So I grabbed that phone, I hang up and I break it. And my wife goes, what are you tripping on? I go, man, that phone's tripping. I go, get up, get ready, we gotta go. She goes, what? So yeah, I get up, throw the phone away, and straight up go outside my apartment and go to the neighbor's house and knock on the door, and she lets me in. So now I'm on. I go, let me use your phone. She lets me use the phone, but she sees that I'm kind of nervous. Something going on. So she told me, man, is there gonna be cops and stuff? I go, no, I don't even know, man. Just I need to use your phone. So I called a taxi and I gave the taxi, to come pick me up. I need you to come now. So at that same time, my wife's in the room, at the apartment. She's getting ready. So I told my wife, tell me when the taxi gets here. I want to be over here. So now I moved from another, because I know everybody in my apartment complex, and they're all cool with me. They see that I'm just a parolee that trying to raise his family. So I want to know everywhere where I stay at, where I live. I want to make sure. I want to know who's around me, what type of other gang members around me, if there's other people I have to worry about. So that's just the way I am. So I need to have a whole idea of what's all around me. So I know all these people. I know where I can go knock, where they can let me in. So I go to this other white girl's house and she lets me in. I go, I just want to chill real quick. She goes, yeah, cool, don't trip. She lets me in. I told my wife, I want to be out here. Let me know when the taxi comes. So my girl finally, she calls and lets me know. So we go out. We go in the taxi. And the taxi takes me over to my brother's house over here across town in Fresno, in the north side of Fresno. So we get there. My brother's at work, and his wife Jackie lets me in. So it's like 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. So and then my wife, we're just tripping, man. I'm like, damn, I'm going to jail. So what I do, I call Joker. At the mansion, at the house. We call it the mansion. That's what we called it. So I told my wife I'm gonna call Joker. So I'm calling Joker now. These people are answering the phone there. I could tell that they're cops, they're detectives. They sound white, And I'm just cutting it off like, hello. They're like, hey, I'm just like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? But they're doing the same thing back to me. So right there and there, that tells me either they arrested Joker or they're there and Joker's not there. But I know that they're on my ass now, because somehow they got my phone number, somehow, some way. But I don't have that cell phone no more. So now I'm at my brother's house. And my brother gets home about 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. As soon as he gets home, I tell him everything. I tell my brother everything, what happened, what's going on, what I did, why I did it, and how I got myself in that situation. And then I tell him this. I tell him, man, make me a promise. If I go to jail for a long time, please take care of my kids, man. Any way, any possible. To be there for them as I would for your kids. And he made me that promise that he would. So a couple hours go by. My cousin Mondo calls me on my other cell phone. I had another cell phone. I borrowed my wife's sister's cell phone because she was there at the time at the apartment. So I borrowed her cell phone and I told her we're going to be on this phone. So just if anything happens, give me a call on this phone. So she calls us and she tells me that there's a bunch of cops there at my apartment. They're asking a lot of questions. They have them outside. They're raiding they're searching. They're searching my apartment. So I asked her who's there. She said my cousin Mondo just got there. I told her to put Mondo on the phone. I told my cousin Mondo I'm over here at my brother Eddie's to come pick me up. I need a ride. And he says, fine, sure. I go, meet me over here on Blackstone at Munition Trust. He goes, fine, I'll be there right now. I go, come right now. So I'm waiting. And finally, I tell my brother, I'm just gonna go, man. I need to just leave. You know. So as soon as I'm walking towards Winston for me and my wife, all of a sudden the Violet is called the Violet Tactical Team. They just came out of nowhere, just bam, 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 get on the ground. They have guns drawn on me. I'm on the ground. And now they have me in the back seat. They're taken to Fresno Police Department headquarters. And they have my wife. They're interrogating her first. They come out. I'm in the holding cell. She comes out crying, telling me to tell them everything. I'm telling her just go home. Before she came out and talked to me, Detective King was just gonna let your wife go back home. I'm saying that's fine. She don't have nothing to do with it. It's all my fault. Just let her go home. She said that's what we're gonna do. So when she comes and tells me, she comes and talks to me, I just tell her I love her. Go home and take care of the kids, and I'll talk to you later. She goes okay, and she tells me.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So now the detective let her go, and they asked if I'm ready, and I said, yeah, I'm sure I'm ready. So they take me into the interrogation room. They have this chalkboard, and it's a whole printout of the house, and it says murder. And I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, what the? So and then I asked a couple kids, so they asked, you ready? I go, yeah, I'm ready. So I go, am I going to be charged or not? She goes, no, we're not charging you. I go, then it's cool, you don't have to read my rights. But they're like, no, we have to read your rights. I go, no, well then, and I ask them, then I'm being charged or no? And they're like, no, we're not charging you. And then it's cool, you don't have to read my rights. But then they're like, no, we have to read your rights. And I go, then you're charging me with something. So we're like that back and forth for real quick. Until I finally say, you know what, that's cool, go ahead. They read my Miranda rights, and I just say I want a lawyer. And that's it. I get, they send me they end the interview, and they took me to jail. Right then and there. Yeah. So now I'm in jail on a violation though. They don't charge me anything for like 6 months though. So they send me to prison on a violation. They just made any violation of just to hold me. So I'm in prison for a couple of months until my parole date. My parole date comes. I'm in the holding tag, getting released. I got my dress out, so I'm ready to go. Hell no, I don't go home though. The Fresno homicide detectives, they come and pick me up, and they take me back to Fresno headquarters, and they charge me with 187 murder. Yeah, and that's how it all began right there on that case.